Wow. That is one of the coolest things I've ever found. I'm near the corner of North 3rd and 5th in Grand Forks, North Dakota. The house behind me was built well over 100 years ago. I believe there's a map from 1884 that shows it. I've got permission to excavate the backyard in search of artifacts, so we'll take a walk around and see what's going on. I can't say for sure if this was the house that showed up on that 1884 map, but this does have some early architectural styles. It's got single beaded board under the eaves, and those 3 peaks definitely have a turn of the century vibe, as do the window moldings. Here's the back side. I've got the locates marked out. You can see the red flags for power. The backyard's also shared with this gray house. I believe this could date to the same era. I've got permission to dig here as well. As you can see, the back lot's been used as a parking lot. There's a lot of gravel down, but I'll be able to use a hammer drill to get through. Just out the back side of the gray house, I was probing and I hit what I believe is glass and possibly some ashes. Those could be from an old coal stove. I've kicked some marks in the ground to show the dimensions. Got a good feeling about this. I'm down a couple feet. You'll notice a light gray color. That's ashes from an old coal stove. Here's some of the pieces I've recovered so far. Some broken dinnerware, old mason jar, shoe polish bottle, and some paving stones. Everything here seems to be about 100 years old, maybe even earlier. These marbles are interesting. That one on the right's fairly crude. It's got some bubbles in the glass. I'm definitely on the right track. It looks like I'm getting into some kind of cap layer here. Oh, nice. Looks like an old ketchup bottle. It's got some embossing on the shoulder. Curtis Brothers Company Preserves, Rochester, New York. You can see the writing there on the shoulder. It's got a nice ribbed pattern. This is a tooled top. I'd put this thing at about 1900. And a flavoring extract bottle. Another tooled top piece from that same date range. These held all kinds of extract for baking, like lemon or vanilla, even rose flavors. There we go. Got an old prescription bottle from the Schleberg and Griffin drugstore. I've dug a good few of these over the years. They were in business in the very early 1900s. Surprisingly, this pit is done. I dug a test hole down, probed, and hit what I believe was a sewer pipe. It's possible this site was disturbed when they put the sewer in. Here's the hall. Wasn't a whole lot, but it dated back about 120 years. Some old concrete paving stones, little pipe wrench, a glass stopper, that prescription bottle, ketchup bottle, and extract, some broken glasses, broken dinnerware. Well, there you have it. We'll get this filled back in. Right here on the divider between the two parking lots, I drilled through and pushed a probe rod in, hit what I believe is glass and coal ash. That's a good indicator. We'll get this thing opened up. All right, we're down about 5 feet. This is an applied top beer bottle. This thing dates back to the 1870s or 80s. I'm finally getting into use layer down here. There's plenty of stove ashes, coal ash, and I've got a couple pieces exposed. Let's see. Okay, here we go. This is an 1870s, 1880s prescription bottle. This would have held medicine from a local drugstore. Tooled top piece. All right, kind of lodged in here. I got to make sure I don't damage anything. Eccles and Morgan druggist, East and West Grand Forks, Minnesota and Dakota territory. This is one of the greatest pieces I've ever dug up. You know, years ago, I found one of these across the alley. This is truly amazing. What do we have here? This still has some contents in it. William F. Kidder, New York. So this looks like some kind of oil. It could be olive oil or some kind of a cod liver oil. That's a tool top piece. Again, this is 1870s or 80s. This is looking good. Getting some really early transfer wear. Look at that, that is beautiful. Got a English transfer wear teacup. Looks like 1870s or 80s. Into a solid use layer, you see this color change. Look at that, some little, looks like a toiletry bottle. This actually has some embossing on it. Perfumer Philadelphia. That's very faint embossing. I'll have to get that cleaned up. Something in Brothers Philadelphia. That's another early piece. This dates back to the start of the town. This is amazing. Yeah, this is definitely an old outhouse pit, and haven't found bottom yet. There we go. Amazing. This is one of the best pits I've ever dug. Eccles and Morgan, druggist, East and West Grand Forks, Minnesota and Dakota territory. It looks mint. Here we go. Look at this stuff. Another, I've dug this pattern on the right before. This one on the left could be like an Asian type theme, but I can't say for sure. These are, again, 1870s or 80s. Looks like another prescription bottle. This is this ash layer I've been working through here. Just carefully, don't want to break anything. What do we have here? That's a French square style prescription bottle. No embossing. It's from a 1870s or 80s drugstore. All right, what do we have here? Look at that. What is this? J.B. Martin druggist, 44 Washington Avenue, Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's an oldie. Must have been a resident, traveled over there at some point. Could have been a boarding house that was operating out of here. And a wide pie crust style lamp chimney. This is classic in that 1870s to 80s era. Here's the haul. Well, it's quality, not quantity. I concluded this was an outhouse pit used by the residents around 1880. This is amazing. Got a toiletry bottle, cod liver oil, some prescriptions, including those two Eccles and Morgan. Truly amazing. Bunch of dinnerware, some ironstone. Well, there you have it. Look at this thing filled back in. And this spot cleaned up great. Just threw the gravel back on, tamped the dirt down. Right over here, you'll notice this sunken area. This is right on the corner of the property. I pushed a probe rod through and hit some more ashes, possibly some more glass. We'll get this thing opened up. I'm only down about a foot. I already got something. Here's a broken doll head. I've been finding a few pieces of these. I believe this is biscuit porcelain from Germany. Dates back to the late 1800s probably. All right, looks like a patent medicine bottle. Tooled top. You know what, early machine made. This one dates back to about 1915. We're definitely on the right track. Looks like maybe a patent medicine of some sort. I still haven't found the bottom of this pit. Still pulling up ashes. Let's see. Oh, there we go. A Davis vegetable painkiller. So this is a tooled top. This is an old one. I want to say this company was out of business in the 1890s. So there you have on the front, Davis, and then a vegetable painkiller. This was a classic medicine. I believe it was a combination of opium and alcohol. Well, there's a bit of a use layer on bottom here. I think it may have been a pit that was cleaned out, but fortunately some stuff was thrown back in. Gotta be careful not to break anything here. All right, looks like a extract bottle, maybe a patent medicine. It's tooled top. Everything in here has been like 1870s, early 80s. This must date to that time frame. I found something way down here. I was clicking against glass, I believe. I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, this is just about on bottom. Let's see if I can reach down. Look at that. That's an Ayers. That's a tooled top piece. This is probably 1870. Yeah, look at that. So the J.C. Ayer Company. I believe this was some kind of hair tonic. I've found these before in this part of the country. It was definitely a popular product during the day. It has some groundwater in it. Here's the haul. I concluded this was an outhouse pit used by the residents during the 1870s or 1880s. There was a lot of broken bits. I think the pit had been cleaned out and some stuff thrown back in. Those bowls, probably 1860s or 70s. You got some patent medicines. That cup, this little saucer and doll piece that concludes they likely had children living here. And other than that, we didn't get much. A lot of dirt and a small use layer. But yeah, there it is. We'll get this thing filled back in. Well, the spot cleaned up great. We even raised the ground a bit. It was sinking. And next to it, it's right over here, is another sunken spot. I think we have another pit. Down a couple feet, I finally hit a use layer. There's some undigested seeds. I saw these two bottles here. Look at that. That is so early. Thin-necked piece. That's a Blake style prescription bottle, likely from a local drugstore. It's got to be 1880s. And another one. No embossing on this, unfortunately. These are so early. That is amazing. That's got to be, yeah, again, 1880s, maybe even 1870s. If you notice all these specks, these are undigested seeds. This confirms we're digging in an old outhouse pit. Now, down here in what I call the use layer, this is the layer they were using while the outhouse was active. They would throw a lot of garbage and stuff in here. I am noticing a couple liquor flasks. Now these, wow, this is a knife edge style. They stopped making these in the early 1880s. They call it a knife edge because it has these points, kind of a pointed edge. Looks like a CLF. Have to do some research on that. That thing's mint. Wow, this is one of the oldest flasks I've dug in the Dakotas. Look at that, that is a beauty. The icing on the cake, C&I. I believe that's Cunningham and Imsen. They were out of business in 1878. This may actually be the oldest bottle I've dug in Grand Forks. That is truly amazing. This is a historic piece. Well, this is an early pit, but classic, like a lot of early pits, there's not a lot that was thrown in them. I did see this milk glass bottle. It's cracked, unfortunately. Doesn't look like there's any embossing though. WF and Company. Could be William Franzen. That's an old little one though. Look at that thin lip on it. Sometimes he's held like a Higgins Magnolia Balm. This was likely some kind of toiletry piece. Pit's done. Here's the haul. There wasn't a whole lot in here, but again, it's quality, not quantity. Got some really early stuff. Dates back to basically the start of the town. Old spoon, some liquor flasks, a couple doll heads, prescription bottles, and a lantern. Well, there you have it. Get this filled back in. This lot's been cleaning up well. I did notice on that 1884 map there were two pits side by side. It appeared they were across the property line. Now you'll see the divider on these parking lots. That's a bit deceiving. I lined up the pit with this house and it appeared to be straight out the back door, right in this area. I decided to probe. Sure enough, hit some ash, possibly some glass. I think we've got another one. I'm down about 5 feet. I'm hitting a few different kinds of layers, some undigested seeds, some ashes. Look at that. This is a Paris style prescription bottle. Dates to about 1905, has Paris on the bottom. That's the style, just basically a name for the shape the glass company gave to it. French gloss, Whitmore, Boston. Okay, this is a shoe polish bottle. This could be a little older. It could date to the 1890s. I'd put it at circa 1900. Ah, too bad there's no embossing on this. That's an old one. It's got that kind of tapered lip on it. That's generally pre-1900. It's a Philadelphia oval style prescription bottle. Mother's friend, the mother's friend. Bradfield Regulatory Company, Atlanta, Georgia. So, yeah, look at that. The mother's friend. I dug one of these in Yankton, South Dakota. I think I've dug a few of them down there. It's a patent medicine aimed towards females. I believe the state's to about 1900, maybe the 1890s. And a lady's shoe. Okay, there were no doubt there's no doubt a female living at the residence. That's definitely been in the ground a while. I'm fairly certain this pit was cleaned out, but there is some stuff towards the bottom. Here's a tool top Eagle style liquor flask. This thing dates to about 1905. We're getting a mixed date range down here. I guess that confirms the dipped pit theory. But down here, this stuff looks a little earlier. We got some really nice color to the glass. These look intact. Oh wow. Jacques Madras Liquid Bluing, Chicago. So this is a really old one. I mean, I want to say it could be 1880s. Look at the top on this thing, how crooked that is. That is very crudely made. You can see some bubbles in there, and looks like there's still some remnants of bluing in there as well. Wow. That is an early flask. Illinois Glass Company. Is this an applied top? That is an applied top. Look at that thing. That is beautiful. So there's the front. It's got that really nice aqua color. And you can see IG Company, Illinois Glass Company on bottom. That is really something. This is basically from the start of the town, that era. Finding all kinds of like chop house bones and stuff down here. That's wild, man. So I wonder if we're digging into another pit. I mean, this is newer. This is probably like circa 1910, maybe 1915. It's not a ground lip on it. I see all those specks. That's a use layer. Another confirmation of this being an old outhouse pit. So here's a little, it's like a pharmaceutical type bottle. Huh. It's got a tooled top, still has remnants of a cork. No embossing though. And another one, it's like the turn of the century era. See, there's a little writing on the label there. Seems this side's newer than what we were digging through. Oh, look at that. It's a kind of a semi-porcelain, I think it's like a dessert type plate. Probably, again, the turn of the century. Huh. So there's some stuff in here. Oh, it's a liquor flask. Looks like a in a circle on the bottom. I've dug one of these before, some of these. That's yeah, again, turn of the century. No label on the back. Huh, all kinds of stuff in here. What do we have there? Oh wow, it's a poison bottle. Look at that. That is beautiful. It has a poison embossed on it, and then see, it's got these ridges. I was told this is so when someone was fumbling through the medicine cabinet or whatever at night, you know, back in the day there wasn't electricity. They'd be able to feel that and know it's a poison bottle and that it shouldn't be taken. some kind of a very early machine-made food bottle. That's gotta be like 1905 would be my guess. Oh wow. I clicked to get some glass in there. And what's this? Looks like some kind of a enamelware kettle. This thing is buried. Huh. Oh, those two flasks laying side by side. One must have hit the other and broke it when they were thrown down back in the day. A warranted flask. Could be 1890s, turn of the century era. And a third flask must have been broken when they threw it in. And another poison bottle. That is interesting. Got two of these kind of almost triangle-shaped poison pieces. Well, there we go. I've been hitting all kinds of bottles in here. What is this? Sample bottle, Dr. Kilmer's Swamp Rat Kidney Cure, Binghamton, New York. So this is one of the most popular medicines of its time. Dr. Kilmer sold products all across the United States. Right here on the wall, I just noticed some glass. Look at that. So that's looks like a Rex Oval style. It doesn't have any embossing on it. It's like a circa 1905 prescription. And this has been sticking out of here a while. Another Eagle style liquor flask. Classic, no embossing. I don't know if I've ever dug one of these with embossing on it. Oh wow, it's a extract bottle of some sort. It's got a label. I don't know if that can be read or not. I'll have to dump some water on it and see if it'll wash up. Oh, here we go, another classic. Okay, so Mrs. Winslow's Soothing Syrup. The Anglo-American Drug Company, successors to Curtis and Perkins. I think this was from like Bangor, Maine, or it's from the East Coast. This was actually laudanum, I believe, for babies. It was used to quiet colicky babies and let them go to sleep. It was nicknamed the baby killer because sometimes too high of a dose was given and then the infant passed in its sleep. I'm amazed at how much stuff is in this thing. Looks like some kind of a dinner plate or some kind of a plate here anyway. A saucer. Could be ironstone china. Wow. That's intact. What does that say? LOR, is it like Meller? I think there was like a Meller Taylor and Company or something along those lines. That's like a dessert plate or maybe a saucer. Heavy ironstone china. Huh. A broken one. It's got a stamp. Ford China Company. Ford City, PA. It's I think maybe a semi-porcelain type piece, and there's the stamps, kind of a teal color. It'd be nice to get an embossed prescription bottle. This one's kind of a rounded lip. I'd say this dates to about 1905. Here we go. This thing's been in the way for a while. Looks like a... Oh, well, I can still see the burn marks on the bottom. It's a enamelware cooking pot of some sort. Kind of cool how the pattern holds up in the ground like that. Oh, and another warranted liquor flask. And the top to looks like a child's tea set. Still no embossing. Another circa 1905 prescription bottle. And a couple of coffee cups. Maybe these go with the saucers. Broke them one morning and chucked them down the outhouse. There we go. This is Stewart's bluing from Minneapolis. Still has some bluing residue in it. This is actually made to create an illusion bluing. When it's added to like yellowed cloth, it'll counteract the yellow color and make it look clear. Or make it look white, is what I meant to say. Oh, this pit goes in a ways. Huh. And another unembossed prescription bottle. Well, I've been clearing out this west side a bit. I figured we could throw the dirt from the east side over here and save some room on the tarps. And ran into this. Looks like a very early piece. Everything on this side of the pit has been 1870s to 1880s, I suppose. But it looks like a very old beer bottle. Wow. That's intact, you know. It might be an applied top. It's got plenty of bubbles in the glass. What do we have? MGW. MGW on the bottom. I'm not sure which glassworks that is. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, this is an applied top. You can feel the ridge inside the neck. So this thing likely predates 1885. That's amazing. I was clearing out some dirt on the east side and this little bottle rolled out. It has some markings on the bottom. It looks like butylol. Not sure if that's related to butane or what it could be, but it's a very small bottle, little cork top piece. I've got all kinds of pieces ready to come out here. No embossing. Looks like a little like wide-mouthed Blake style prescription type piece. Huh. And I believe this is a Mikado style liquor flask. Yeah, circa 1905, no embossing. Now there's a really nice color here. Looks like a blue and gold. I don't know if it's a flower pot or what. There's a little prescription type bottle. It says white something on the label there. It's fairly well deteriorated though. A couple pieces at the bottom there. Another one of these Mrs. Winslow soothing syrup from the Anglo-American Drug Company. Huh. Yeah, that's a nice one. I've found these all across the country actually. A couple pieces here, so little doll leg, probably from Germany or something. Had cloth bodies, so the whole doll could have been thrown down here and just deteriorated. I'll just find pieces of them. And Vaseline, Chesbro, New York, early machine-made piece, circa 1905. Alright, now I gotta be careful with this. It looks like it's a fragile piece. Little bar glass of some sort, maybe pressed glass. And it looks like another bottle here. Just a broken prescription, no embossing. And another, and circa 1905. Wow, that is one of the coolest things I've ever found. Is that 24 karat gold? 24 karat gold leaf possibly. It's a little teapot. Looks like it may have some kind of Asian inspired pattern on it. I don't see any markings though. It must have broken, so they discarded it. Amazing. And another unembossed prescription bottle. I think we've got the lid. Nice. So there's the lid to that teapot. Really nice black kind of gold on it. That's gonna look good. And a blank prescription bottle, part of a label. It's too far gone to read. Another circa 1905 piece. I think this pit's nearly finished. I did find the east wall there. It's that bright tan clay. This pit's done. Here's the haul. I concluded this was 2 outhouse pits used by the residents from about 1880 up to about 1905. Got a good date range going on. There's a food bottle, some machine-made stuff, got some dinnerware, some prescription bottles, that French gloss shoe polish, some patent medicines, liquor flasks ranging from about 1880 up to 1905, a couple bluing bottles, extract, and that applied top beer. Well, there you have it. Look at this filled back in. I think the south side of the property is all finished up. We were gridding out the rest of this lot, and just over here off the north side of the house I pushed a probe rod through the ground, hit a bunch of roots, I believe from this old tree, but I also hit some more ashes and possibly some glass. I kicked some marks in the ground. I think this could be good. This is brutal. Found fragments of this. We're about 5 feet down. It's one of the top Dakota soda bottles. It's from the bottling works of Kruger and Cronenberg. They bottled in Grand Forks, Dakota Territory in 1881 until 1882. There's only 3 other examples known. One was found under a bridge in Fargo by a scuba diver. The other was found, I believe, in an old grain elevator that was being torn down back in the 1980s. And I found the other one behind where a saloon once stood in Larimore, North Dakota. This would have been one of the best pieces I'd dug. But it looks like this pit may have been dipped or cleaned out back in the day. There's a few pieces left on bottom. Fingers crossed. All right, this is so early. This is definitely 1880s. It's some kind of a pickle bottle, maybe a relish bottle, preserve of some sort. Looks like an applied top. Yeah, it's just this layer right on bottom here that's turning up stuff. No, no way. Look at that. This would have been another top bottle. This is a 12-ounce aqua prescription bottle from the Trepanier Brothers Pharmacy of Grand Forks, Dakota Territory. I believe there's only a handful of these known as well. Oh, that is so early. I'll have to try to find all the pieces to that one. I thought it was a patent medicine at first. That thing was so big. It looks like a, yeah, this one is a patent medicine. Huh. That's a key mold of some sort. Looks like an N and a star on bottom. That's kind of cool. Early tooled top piece. Some kind of broken yellowware plate. I've been finding all kinds of fragments of these things. Alright, looks like a Worcestershire sauce bottle. That's an early tooled top piece. And some kind of a flavoring extract. Looks like it has a partial label, but that is fairly gone to read. Some salt glazed crockery. I've been finding some really early pieces down here, salt glazed crock pieces. Oh, look at that. That is a, okay, this is a hot handled sat iron. This would have sat on a stove. They would have ironed clothes with it. They call it a hot handle because the handle doesn't detach. The cold handle that would have been able to clip onto it was invented, I believe, sometime in the 1890s, turn of the century. This is definitely a early piece. 1870s or 80s would be my guess. And another paneled piece, maybe a flavoring extract or a patent medicine. Some early transferware, that black color. That could be mid-1800s there. This pit's definitely from the start of the town. What do we got here? Jacques Madras Liquid Bluing Chicago. That's an old one. It's an early tooled top piece. I think this is a sharpening stone. Yeah, you can see where someone had ran a blade across it. It's kind of scratched. This has some really good weight to it. There's all kinds of stuff in this layer here. I was hitting some eggshells. Could be a part that hadn't been cleaned out. Fingers crossed anyway. Oh wow. That's kind of ornate actually. I think it might be silver plated. It's a very old spoon. Oh, look at that. I'll have to get that cleaned up. There's this can I've been working on here. I don't know if it's brass. Look at that cobalt decoration. I'm gonna have to find all these pieces. I wonder what that is. I've never seen anything like it. Oh. Broken water pitcher. Huh. The arm off of a doll. Must have had a cloth body. I usually find the arms, legs, and head. Huh. What is this thing? That's strange. Looks like it's almost got like a gear or something inside. Maybe a chicken feeder. If anyone knows what this thing is, please drop a comment. Now this little paneled piece was laying on the ground. I was cleaning out the dirt. It may have fallen out of that can, or it was right around the area where it was found. I'm working here. There's, I don't know, a few more bottles, it looks like. What do we have? Another Worcestershire sauce bottle. No embossing. It's got a tooled top. What is this thing? This is unusual. Wow. I've never seen one of these. I couldn't even begin to guess what it is. Looks like it could be a beer or a soda, a champagne. It's a light cobalt blue. It's got a strange top on it, an indented base. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that before. And some kind of a pattern glass or pressed glass piece. It's actually got some leaves on it. And some animals on the bottom. Looks like a lion. Yeah, some lions across the bottom. That's kind of cool. And over here, there's a kind of square-shaped bottle. Could be a pickled goods container. Trying to get all those pieces to that crock. Alright, looks like a tooled top, maybe an applied top, maybe a early tooled top pickle bottle, no embossing on it, super crude though, a lot of bubbles. Finishing up the east side of this pit. Let's see. No way! I think this called this a turtle ink. Carter's. This is something special here. Patented June 17th. Couldn't tell you. It's got to be sometime in the 1880s though. Look at that. That is beautiful. Yeah, it's got a ground lip. Would have dipped the quill pens in there. Well, there we go. Almost looked like a soda at first. Got a partial label. It's a ketchup bottle. For sure a ketchup with a tooled top. More pieces to the crock. Bottom of a patent medicine. All kinds of crockery and stuff in here. It's kind of a typical early pit. You get all kinds of early stuff. A lot of it's broken though. Hopefully I can reconstruct some of this. That's strange. It's got like a basket weave pattern. I think this would have had a lid on it. Maybe a semi-porcelain type piece. Well, in the back corner, goes to show you should always finish these pits. This may have been missed by the privy dippers. I can't say for sure. I see embossing on it though. Looks like a soda. H.O. Kruger, Grand Forks, Dakota Territory. Look at that. That's one of the top bottles I've dug. Made by the Wisconsin Glass Company. Oh, that is beautiful. This dates to about 1885. And you know what? This thing is mint. Here's the haul. This was a roller coaster. I concluded this was an outhouse pit used by the residents during the 1880s. There wasn't a lot, but it's quality, not quantity. There's that Trepanier Brothers pharmacy bottle. Unfortunately, it was broken. Got that bluing, some preserves, Worcestershire sauce, medicine, some extracts, that blue possible wine bottle, a ketchup, that Hutchinson soda bottle from Grand Forks, Dakota Territory, that turtle ink. You'll also notice a bunch of ironstone and dinnerware. Well, there you have it. We'll get this thing filled back in.